You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
For over 100 years, the world has been captivated by Hollywood.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Where stars are born.
Rated by top of the world!
But just beneath the stardust lie a million more fascinating stories that, when sewn together, form an incredible history. The Secret History of Hollywood. Available now, wherever you get podcasts.
Hey everybody, real quick before we get started, don't forget about your chance to win a pair of AirPods Pro or Beats Fit Pro. Just rate and or review the show and send proof that you did, like a screenshot of you giving us 5 stars or whatever. Go to fantheoryqueries.com/contest for more details. Oh, and you get multiple entries if you review us on multiple platforms. Okay, bye.
Hey, and welcome to Fan Theory Queries, where we analyze fan theories from all over the internet, but mostly Reddit. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Spencer, and I'm having trouble remembering which movie I saw. So this theory that I'm going to bring to you all is called Footloose is a prequel to Tremors. And there have been several Tremors movies.
Yep.
And, I know I've seen a Tremors movie, and I could have sworn it was the first one. But the more I look at it and watch the trailer, and this was in 1990. Mm-hmm. I would have been 2 years old at that point. Mm-hmm. Why would I have? The more I look at it, I think it was Tremors 2 that I saw, which is essentially like the same idea, just the stakes were higher. You get the idea. Michael, you've seen Tremors, but it's been a while, right?
I saw it once a long time ago. I very, very vaguely remember what it was about. I've never seen Footloose.
Was it, and you watched the Tremors from 1990?
No, I watched, I watched the original Tremors, the first one. That's the only one I've seen.
Okay.
Laura, you have seen Tremors?
I have not seen Tremors. I watched the trailer for it, and I looked up the IMDb. Funny, the girl from Jurassic Park is in Tremors from 1990. The hacker girl.
Yep. Hacker.
Thank you. Yes. He was indicating a large air quote with that pause.
Laura, I'm going to ask you a question I already know the answer to. Have you seen Footloose?
Yes, I have. In every iteration that you can. I've seen both films, and I performed in the stage musical playing the role of Ariel.
Not the mermaid.
I was going to ask.
Which is weird because I'm pretty sure we did that show immediately after or before a production of The Little Mermaid. So we had 2 Ariels in the house. But yes, I was in the show, and I've watched both movies.
Yes, she danced to I Need a Hero, and
I sang that song.
Dressed like the 80s. Mm-hmm. She looked good.
Thanks, Spencer. That wasn't awkward at all. You going to get to your theory here?
Yes. Okay. So, for anybody who has seen neither movie, first of all, Footloose came out in 1984. Here's a synopsis. Big city teenager Ren relocates from Chicago to the small rural town of Beaumont, where its inhabitants have imposed an unjust ban on rock and roll and dancing. Feeling trapped and confused, Ren tries to fit in. However, he will soon find himself neck deep in trouble when beautiful Ariel Moore, the preacher's daughter, catches his eye. Now, to convince the city council to lift the ban on dancing, Ren has no choice but to fight prejudice and the community's fire and brimstone preacher through dance. But is Ren fighting a losing battle? Keep that in mind. And then Tremors in 1990. A small town, sound familiar? A small town gradually becomes aware of a strange creature which picks off people one by one. But what is this creature, and where is it? At the same time, a seismologist is working in the area. She detects tremors. The creature lives underground and can pop up without warning. Trapped in their town, the town folk have no escape. Do they fight a losing battle? I don't know.
I'm going to write a question down to ask when you're done reading.
Okay, I'm done reading the synopses.
Well, you need to read your theory, and then I have my question.
Okay, I'm going to read this theory by Sax Alert. Now, one thing I need to explain with this theory, they connected not only Tremors and Footloose, but also Dune. And they built this theory around other people's individual theories, connected them all together. I'm not going to read those, and I'm not going to read anything having to do with Dune. I don't care about Dune. I'm sorry.
What? Dune is so good.
So I don't want to read it or watch it. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I honestly, out of the three, Dune is the only one I care about.
Well,
womp womp.
I don't care about any of them. So how does that make you feel? Okay, so let's get to this. Person starts with what could possibly be a imaginary tagline. When a town with a tradition of no dancing starts grooving again, people feel tremors from space. The town in Footloose has an irrational fear of dancing. Why is that? Dancing causes tremors. Tremors attract graboids, which is the name of those little worm things. Another quote that they made up, walk without rhythm and you won't attract the worm. The parents would not let the kids dance because the seismic activity would wake up the feared worm creatures. They had defeated the worm creatures in the past and had just been able to hush the stories and recreate a prosperous town. Kevin Bacon ruins it all with this childhood whimsy and must then save the town from the destruction he and his friends caused. What if John Lithgow didn't realize his proactive policy of prayer was protecting the town and he dies saving Kevin Bacon from a once dormant threat? In shame, Ren McCormick changed his name to Val McKee so he could run away to the middle of nowhere. Think about it. Both have three-letter names, each with last names that start with Mick. And they have to deal with, like, the vibrations they make, man. The first Tremors movie is Kevin Bacon's karmic retribution for getting the citizens of Beaumont killed. But then time passes. Scientists discover the hardy nature of the Cridaris tremor species and learn that it didn't start on Earth. It evolved from a far-off part of space and landed here via eggs and an asteroid. And then he goes on to Dune. I don't care about that. Okay, so first of all, guys, this is your kind of theory, okay? Because we've got one actor playing two different roles, so clearly they're connected. And you've got some great supporting evidence that both of their names are spelled with three letters. So I picked this one for y'all because I knew it was right up your alley.
You know what's more up my alley? Dune. I don't know anything about these other two movies, but I could talk a lot about Dune.
You know everything you need to know at this point, and we will fill you in on everything else. So let's talk about the plot of Footloose really quick. The reason that you find out, so goes first, the Reverend John Lithgow is made to be out to be this villain of this horrible...
Why did you say his name like that?
Why not? Of this horrible man because he doesn't want anybody to dance. You're like, that's stupid. He's such a square. What's going on? But then it's revealed later that the reason why he does that is because his daughter... Is his daughter, right, Laura?
His son.
His son was killed in a car crash on the way to a party with music.
On the way home. From a dancing, drinking party.
Yeah. So... clearly, the culprit of all his sorrow is dancing and music. So why not?
Because that's the only reason why you drink and where you drink.
Yeah. So why not?
And sometimes that leads to drugs, and drugs causes you to witness a murder.
Yes.
There, I just tied it to Jimi Hendrix and Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood.
So with all of that happening, why not deprive everybody else of their pride and joy? Not pride and joy. Why not deprive everybody else from the things that they enjoy? I mean, it sounds like how lawmakers make policies these days, so it's not hard to fathom. Also, this introduced us to Kenny Loggins, or introduced me to Kenny Loggins with his "You Gotta Cut Loose, Footloose" to kick off your Sunday shoes. While there is lots of music and popular 80s songs in this movie, it is not a musical. There's just music in the background that people dance to. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Ren, a.k.a. Kevin Bacon, is like, man, let me dance, man. And then everyone's like, no, we're small-minded folk in this small town. And then he convinces everybody because he's like, good things happen when people are allowed to dance. And everybody is happy at the end. They did a remake of it.
I saw the movie.
Yeah, exactly. They did a remake of it later with that girl. I don't remember what her name is.
Julianne Hough.
Yes, her. And I don't really know anything about it. Which do you like better, Laura?
Which of those two films do I like better? I like the original.
Yeah.
Footloose.
It's usually the case.
Yeah, it's just not as fun, the newer one, I think.
Okay. So what we are tasked with at this point is determining if it's a possibility that maybe this excuse for outlawing dancing was made up, or perhaps placed, maybe they forgot, got confused. And the actual reason why they're not supposed to dance is because dancing in rhythm attracts tremors, or makes tremors that attracts these creatures under the ground. Some things to think about. The towns have two different names, so, I mean, it's not the same town. Kevin Bacon is a teenager in 1984. How long do you need to come back for retribution? Is it 1990? Is 6 years enough? I think so. But is everybody on the same page as far as the details of why this person is making this connection between the two movies? And Tremors in the movie, they're in this secluded small town out in the middle of nowhere, and everybody's being terrorized because if you run around on the ground, the worm monsters will feel you, hear you, and know you're there, run or dig to you and eat you.
Okay, I have a lot. Are you done? Can I start saying some things here?
You had a question a long time ago.
Yep. So why can't the townsfolk in Tremors leave their town?
They try. So based on what I saw in the trailer and what I can remember, Kevin Bacon's character or whatever, they're doing something in the town and they're like, we don't want to be here. And they try to leave to go do something else. And when they do, that's when they come up against these worms. And so they can't leave.
So are those things like around the perimeter of the town?
Yeah.
Policing it or something? What's happening?
Think of it like in...
They're like the Dementors.
The Mandalorian. In The Mandalorian, whenever they go after the crate dragon, you know how it kind of travels through the sand and stuff?
Yeah.
And it senses, like it knows where the vibrations and stuff are from where they were walking. That's essentially how it is. So
this just happens to be where they live.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, so our theorizer is saying that it's rhythmic stepping and walking. Can I start saying things to disprove this? No.
Yeah, go for it.
Or should I read the lone comment first?
You can read your lone comment and then I'll say my thing.
From Abraxas, lol. I've been saying for years they should make Footloose 2, and in this one, Kevin Bacon has to go back to the town and convince them to stop dancing because it's attracting graboids. And then we realize it's really a Tremors movie. Gotta bring Reba back too.
Yeah, when I heard her in that trailer, I went, is that Reba McEntire? Mm-hmm. That's crazy. So here's the deal. We know that there are still sports in Beaumont. Mm-hmm. There's still football. There's still track. There's still basketball. Heck, we know there's still a train that runs through the town because in one scene, Ariel, because her life, she's just become very reckless, the loss of her brother, feeling oppressed by her father. At one point, she jumps in front of the train and is just screaming. Anything like that. So train on a track, it's kind of rhythmic when those wheels turn over the rails. Mm-hmm. Football team running across a football field might be a little rhythmic. Basketball team dribbling a basketball, definitely rhythmic. Those kinds of things happening tell me.
What about a marching band?
Marching band, absolutely. Even the worst marching band, there's gonna be some kind of rhythm in those steps.
Yep.
So that's what I had to say about that.
Okay. So two things to counter, maybe not counter, but provide an explanation for why this can still be accurate. We're saying that Footloose is a prequel that happens before the events of Tremors. And so at that point in time, Footloose is a prequel to Tremors.
To Tremors, however, the events of Tremors are a repetition. This is repeating because it happened in their history, is what the theory says.
Okay,
they had defeated the worm creatures in the past, so it's happened once already, is what the theory says, and that's why dancing's not allowed.
Let's look at this one particular sentence. What if John Lithgow didn't realize his protective policy of prayer was protecting the town, and he dies saving Kevin Bacon from a once dormant threat? So maybe they defeated it in the past and they went dormant. And then because of the state of dormancy, people just kind of forgot about the threat they presented. And John Lithgow was like, okay, Ren, you're a cool dude after all. We can dance now. Forgetting that. Or maybe when they defeated the worms previously, it was before John Lithgow's generation.
That could be true. That still doesn't address, that's not linking to why they can't dance. And why John Lithgow is preaching about not dancing.
Well, that's what I say. He didn't realize his policy. So when I said that maybe they enacted this policy about not dancing was actually because of the Tremors, that was probably a dumb thing to say. That wasn't real. I think in actuality, maybe John Lithgow's, or the original reason why he put that rule into place is accurate, that was the whole point, but it was inadvertently keeping any more seismic activity from happening to possibly wake up the dormant threat. And then once that is repealed, the dancing and rhythm from the dancing adds on to the already rhythmic things you've so gracefully pointed out, like a train and a marching band. No, I pointed out the marching band. But that's where that ends.
Good. Okay. So,
how do you account for the fact that we see a guy that looks like Kevin Bacon in Footloose and a guy that looks like Kevin Bacon in Tremors? How are they not connected?
Doppelgangers.
I mean, because that's all you've ever needed for proof in other theories before. I'm just wondering.
But we've also said in those other theories that while there are some, like we've talked about, that we think have a connection, that doesn't necessarily mean that every single two movies that have the same actor portraying a character has a connection.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Really good point. Good thing I have that recorded. Michael, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I like Dune.
Well,
no, I honestly don't really have much to add to this.
Okay.
Like I said, I've never seen Footloose, so I don't really know anything about that other than what was said in this. Mm-hmm. And Tremors, I've seen it once. I vaguely know what's going on with that. Honestly, the things that I was going to bring up, Laura already kind of took care of, so so I don't really have much more. Okay.
Well, a while back, we mentioned Reba McEntire. So since we mentioned Reba McEntire, that must mean it's 9 to 5. Perfect time to take a quick break before we give our ratings.
I thought Leanne Womack sang 9 to 5.
Oh, you're right. Oops. Reba was that mysterious racer in the Little Rascals movie.
Dolly Parton sang 9 to 5.
Right.
Yep.
There is a corner of Los Angeles where dreams are brought to life,
The stuff that dreams are made of.
where stars are born,
Rated Bar! Top of the world!
where legends are made.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
For over 100 years, the world has been captivated by Hollywood. But just beneath the stardust lie a million more fascinating stories. Tales of heroism, villainy, betrayal, passion, tragedy, and triumph that, when sewn together, form an incredible history. The Secret History of Hollywood, available now wherever you get podcasts.
What do you think? Should we rate this theory on a scale from 9 to 5?
That doesn't even make sense.
You're right. If only we had a well thought out, intelligent way to deliver a verdict on the plausibility of fan theories.
The highest rating that we have is genius. This is reserved for only the best theories, which we believe are better than the actual canon. The next step down is plausible. It's a good theory, it's believable. Unlikely is next. It's not a terrible theory, but pretty unlikely, as the name suggests. And then the last thing is preposterous. These are the theories that are just stupid. Basically, we're all dumber for having listened to them.
Does anybody want to go first?
I will. This is preposterous.
Preposterous.
100%. If we had connected this to Dune, I might have thought about it a little bit more in a positive light.
He's so spiteful about the lack of Dune.
You could say he's spicy, right, Michael? He's spicy about it?
Yes.
Get it?
With the lack of evidence, yes. With the lack of evidence that was omitted intentionally, I can't give this any more than a preposterous rating because it just doesn't make sense to me.
One might say you would go even further, and whatever there is below preposterous.
Yeah.
Give this.
We're going to create a new rating just for this.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
This
I mean,
this is absolutely preposterous.
I did my best to try to put some doubt in your minds as far as whether it could be true, but I failed, and I have to agree. This is totally dumb. This is really bad. It's just dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Straight up.
Cool. Well, since we all agree, it's funny. Like we've had a string of dummies lately. We're going to have to find something that's like really smart, but not today. But the reason is because it's time to bring the episode to a close. However, before we do, I'd like to kind of like give us a good palate cleanser, get rid of the dumbness that's in our minds, and share a fascinating movie, actually mistake, because there's nothing more satisfying than correcting a mistake. But this is a movie mistake found on Reddit the other day. For all the praise that Jurassic Park, we just recently talked about the girl in that movie, for all the praise that movie gets, there is a glaring error right on display for everybody. And we all just accepted it as fact. However, thanks to user Penguin Monk, they were kind enough to point out that in Jurassic Park 93, a banner displays the message, "When dinosaurs ruled the earth." This is factually incorrect, as dinosaurs did not rule the earth, but were simply alive. We should stop giving them credit for administrative skills they most certainly did not possess.
Administrative skills. Now I'm thinking of the Disney movie Meet the Robinsons, whenever the T-Rex has the bowler cap on, have a big head and little arms. Oh, thank you for that one, Spencer.
You're welcome.
And with that, this has been Fan Theory Queries. I'm Laura.
I'm Michael, and Dune is good.
And I'm Spencer. In our next episode, we ask, do the plants in the video game series Plants vs. Zombies have a hidden agenda that involves using the zombies as fertilizer? Subscribe to Fan Theory Queries so you don't miss out on that and other fascinating fan theories.
Fan Theory Queries is part of the Airwave Media Podcast Network. Visit airwavemedia.com to listen and subscribe to their other fine shows like The Secret History of Hollywood, Who Did What Now? And Into the Impossible.
There is a corner of Los Angeles where dreams are brought to life,
The stuff that dreams are made of.
where stars are born,
Rated bar! Top of the world!
where legends are made.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
For over 100 years, the world has been captivated by Hollywood. But just beneath the stardust lie a million more fascinating stories. Tales of heroism, villainy, betrayal, passion, tragedy, and triumph that when sewn together form an incredible history. The Secret History of Hollywood, available now wherever you get podcasts.